Good evening. My name is Cedric, and it is my pleasure to be taking your order. Let me read a few of the specials we have on our menu tonight. Our appetizers include a freshly caught Nicholas Santa Croce, a Baltimore Krabby Cake with a piquant, nutty flavor. It's prepared West Coast style and served with the dark side of the moon. Our seafood offering is a filleted Matthew Shank served family style. It's a portion made for sharing and topped with a heaping helping of laughter that some find offensively overbearing. Our most pretentious entree is a grilled Ben Wilson, prepared to piss you off. It is served with a 100-year-old egg that began cooking during the first talkie movie and comes fully sauced for your enjoyment. And for something sweet, if you're looking for decadent, you'll not want to miss our dark chocolate John Arthur Ingram, flown in fresh from Georgia just yesterday evening. It's the perfect treat to follow any fish sandwich and comes accompanied with discussions of the existential crisis variety. And finally this evening, all dishes are served with the New Way podcast. It is tasteless and features content suitable only for adults. Listener discretion is advised, and bon appetit.
Next thing comes out of your mouth is, how do you sleep at night, Boyd Crowder? Well, do you know how? 'Cause I know who I am.
Andy Dwyer, security, suites, body man, javelin if need be.
Doors were unlocked, no security. I mean, that makes sense, right? They're good, so they're stupid and trusting.
Are you my dad's brother?
I'm your dad's brother, all right.
I'm your Uncle Buck.
Everybody wants to be naked and famous. Everybody wants to be just like me. I'm naked.
Will you help teach me about this? What is it? A new way?
Hello and welcome to an action-packed episode of The New Way featuring a packed studio today with, of course, Ben Effortless Wilson, Nick, the Year of the Santa Croce, and our good writer friend John Arthur Ingram, who is in town visiting us and sitting in on tonight's podcast, which promises to be very likely a shit show, but definitely listenable and fun. I know right now Greg Klein is listening to this at some point, and he just got hard. Like, he literally went from 6 to midnight, wherever he is, and I hope it's not at work. But if it is, Greg, we love you.
Or from 9 to midnight, like it was at the time when Greg was in the studio. Always at 9.
He's always just at 9 in general.
And Beth is on her way over with some bags of Halloween treats.
Oh, Nick, you wait till I can't be near the system to do. I mean, well, that was a...
Any more, treats? Just trying to pick up the slack there, Matt.
True. I know.
Slowing the trigger here.
So, sorry. For once, I'm slowing the trigger. Normally, you can pan them too fast.
How's it going, John Arthur?
Welcome.
Wow. Yeah, thanks.
He's overwhelmed by the moment.
Poignant.
You're looking at your lap like you're embarrassed to be here.
He totally is.
He is totally embarrassed.
I was going to say, it's more like Nick Foles. Foles on the Super Bowl podium. Just can't believe the moment is real.
I don't think Big Dick John Ingram really has the same ring to it.
No.
Do you think John Ingram needs the Big Dick moniker to get the Big Dick treatment? And John Arthur walks in and they're like, well, I think it was implied.
And we're already into it.
Yeah. Well, John Arthur stands about 7'7", shoots lightning beams from his eyeballs. But so welcome to Florida. You arrived on a day where there were 2 shootings on our freeway. 2, and then another accident where we literally pull up to. I'm using Waze to get back from the airport, and
which kind of Waze?
The app. Waze.
Oh,
the Waze app.
Keep going.
One of our sponsors, Nick. Come on now. They pay us a lot of money to talk about them like this. But I'm taking it. It's like, get off at Atlantic on 95. My brother's like, he's like, 95 will be shut down completely. I go, no, it says go to Atlantic. Pull up to the Atlantic exit. And there are just a stream of cars coming back from Woolbright because another accident happened while they had everything shut down. Everyone got caught between Atlantic and Woolbright, and they were legitimately just turning around on the freeway and driving randomly onto Atlantic from every direction, from northbound, from southbound. It was I've never seen anything like it.
John
It was
Carpenter's
fucking crazy.
Escape from Delray.
John Arthur's Escape from Delray.
It was pretty incredible.
So what do you think of our fine state since you've been here a couple times now?
It surprises me.
We get a lot of that, yeah.
I guess that's the simpler way to.
You do follow Florida Man on Twitter, because if you don't, then you really should.
Oh, you should definitely get on Florida
So basically,
Man.
this is one of those things where it just says like Florida Man, nukes cat in microwave and then proceeds to try and eat it before throwing in dumpster. I mean, there's like
You gotta at least try to eat it.
They
before you
take
throw it away.
actual headlines, because all headlines start with Florida man does this, and they made it like he's an actual human being
Yeah.
that has done all of these terrible things.
It's like, Florida Man gets caught snorting cocaine on beach, and
Here's a real one. Here's a real one for you.
gets attacked by orca.
Florida man gets sick attempting to vape his own semen. That is an actual fucking thing that happened in our state. By the way,
It's more like Captain Planet, because when our powers combine, we make Florida Man.
and by the
One
way,
of us tries to snort semen, the other one tries to get a pet alligator.
Now you didn't take a hit off of any vapes while you've been here in Florida, have you? You gotta be careful of that, because there's semen in like 90% of vaporizers.
At least 90%, yeah.
It's a conservative estimate.
It's a conservative estimate.
At least
90, it's been known
I
to
thought I was feeling sick.
it's been known to reach levels of 97%.
400 to 500 women get pregnant vaping semen every year in the state of Florida alone.
3 in Brass Tap last night. Minimum.
Wow.
So we brought John Arthur over here to do the podcast. We also took him out to a Florida staple of ours last night at the Brass Tap, which that will definitely give them a plug for anyone that listens. It's sort of our hometown bar here. But we went out for what started out as just an innocent night of karaoke.
I was not there, by the way. This has been. I was not there.
Yeah. And I met Paul for the first time.
The bartenders recognize me now. I feel really good about that. It's like nice and warm
it's
and
our cheers. It's nice.
Yeah.
It's no O'Connor's
It's no Benny's Ice House.
or Ugly Mug, but it's it's a lot cleaner, and I feel like I'm not going to get Hep C. So I think it's a good trade.
that's where they get
And
you.
I haven't yet gotten Hep C from there, like you did at those other places.
I was going to say, when I say I think I didn't get Hep C, when I went to other places, I knew I got Hep C.
Exactly.
But we went out for karaoke last night, and John Arthur. Well, no, I'm sorry. Here are the order of operations. Paul Mamalito sang a few songs and no one noticed, and they were terrible song choices. Like maybe the worst reading of the crowd I've ever seen in my life.
He also asked both me and John Arthur to spread our pinky and thumbs, and he said to see how large our penises were.
No.
And I said, Paul, that's ridiculous. Everyone knows it's your shoe size divided by 2.
I don't know who does that to a stranger. He doesn't know you. You just showed up and he asked you. That's like someone saying, "Well, can you be on my fantasy football team as a player?" It's just untoward.
But we solved that.
we did. We did
solve it.
We'll get to that one. But
I still think. I mean, this is almost 4 years later. I thought that was a pretty funny line. Speaking of, actually, before I'll
enjoy your white privilege.
Let me interrupt for actually 1 second, because we absolutely apparently solved racism over shrimp and grits, and that's the one thing I was going to actually ask on the podcast is Sunday night I would like to invite you 3 gentlemen over for shrimp and grits for dinner.
Oh yes.
No, he did.
So
Here.
Ben is correct. We did in August of 2013. 14, that's right. Before watching the first Guardians of the Galaxy film, the 4 of us in this room, solved racism, drank a lot of beer, and I think it's due. I think you're right, Nick. I think we didn't try hard enough. So this year, it seems like it's ready. I think we're ready to solve racism again. So
Ben kind of sparked it up again.
So by the time you guys listen to this podcast, probably you're living in a racist-free world because we solved it.
where 4 of us are full on of shrimp and grits.
That's right.
So I mean.
One of those 2 things will happen.
I think
Guaranteed.
I think you're gonna wake up. You're gonna wake up on Monday morning, and everyone's gonna just be just like getting super excited because there's no more racism. It's going to be fantastic. So yeah,
It's gonna be the good place.
well, yeah, we will be there. But
Anyways,
so
return to the brass tap.
Paul sang forgettable songs. Nick went up and did a career best version
career
of
best, really?
Christina Aguilera's "Beautiful," way better than the Orlando one, actually.
Oh wow!
I mean,
thank
you
Means a lot. Thank
killed
you.
it.
Thank you.
Brought the house down. That one woman, literally, this one woman, like. I'm sitting there watching Nick sing the song. She stands up, like Nick starts singing, and she goes, "Oh," and like she gets
Like
this look at
excitable
her,
prairie dog.
and yeah, and then she just stands up slowly, and she's like she can't believe her ears of what's happening, and then she walks slowly in the path of the stage. Now, granted, she is heading to the bathroom, so it could have just been that she realized she had to pee and it was hitting her very slowly. But she stopped then on the way to the bathroom just to listen a little more to Mr. Nick Santa Croce.
Nothing wrong with taking advantage of the
went-
situation.
And then she went.
No, this was a different woman.
Oh, nice.
There were many women that were fawning over Nick last night and catcalling him.
Happens more.
Thank you,
often-
ex-Tina.
It's happens more often than Nick would admit or pretends to
I agree.
acknowledge.
No. Last night he
I
was
pretend all the
Nick
time.
Effortless Santa Croce.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the year. And then John Arthur, as if to say, "Listen, that was cute."
You did okay, Christina.
Is it okay?
Let's dial it back a half a
Hey,
generation here.
why don't we show
This ain't
Christina,
Moulin Rouge no more. Christina, take a hike.
Why don't we show Christina where she learned all her moves and did a little Mariah Carey for everyone? And there was a couple so aroused by John Arthur's rendition of which song did you do?
Always be my baby.
Could you give us a little?
Oh no.
We all started snapping at the same moment. That was beautiful.
That was, and you're beautiful, just the way you are. And
That was beautiful in every single way. Yeah, well, you know.
And I only did it because Nick did.
Well, so we had
Christina
our
Aguilera.
diva. No, literally, there's this couple while this is happening, and they start violently making out at the table across from him. They've not done this the rest of the night, and they do not do it at any other point in the night. And then it gets gross.
I just looking over at them felt like I was being shoved into a clown car full of clowns who had just worked out.
I mean,
I felt the heat from the other side.
It was disgusting enough.
The sweaty
and then
mess.
This woman grabs the gentleman's head and turns it to the side, and
Here it
she
comes.
proceeds just open mouth molest his ear with like her lips and mouth and like. I
She
guarantee
spelunked his ear canal with her tongue in front of
He
everybody.
didn't need one of those wax things like the wax candle. She just sucked everything that was in there, probably some brain too. And it was just fucking disgusting.
It was
his
disgusting
earwax
enough
with some
before you
fava
fucking
beans.
described it.
And then, well, I have to describe. You know why I have to describe it in such detail, Ben Wilson? Because we had a videographer on hand.
Yes.
I believe he works for your company. I'll make sure to leave a Yelp review for you guys. But
Not as a videographer.
there was no B-roll being shot, so the footage that should have picked all of this
Totally
up
could use that for
was,
clip stock.
And you know what? You know what really sucks? It's one of those moments where, like, I'm going to unapologetically and obviously videotape strangers in a crowded bar, but it'll be worth it.
You did all the risk,
But
and
it'll be
no
worth it.
reward.
I thought I pressed record, and I, you know, when you go to stop the record and you actually
Hit record.
just get 3 seconds
Yeah.
of your pocket, that's what I did.
What I love is that so I kicked off that trend in Orlando, and you got so angry with me.
I was not that angry.
You were pretty. Well, I was
Stop
more
it.
angry because I ran all over that bar and I interviewed Rick. Nick did Christina for the first time in Orlando at a resort hotel. And I went around the entire restaurant while he was singing to get like good camera. And
American Idol style.
And I was like, in my head, I'm like, this is my Goodfellas. It's my one shot. This is my tracking shot.
I'm
It's gonna
coming
be
to the
amazing.
kitchen, baby.
And I go through there. I'm going by tables, and I'm getting reaction shots from people. I go to the bartenders. I go to everyone, and then I hit stop. And what's different than yours is that I have distinctly image one and the end image. It's Nick getting ready to sing, and then he's just like, so happy, and I go, I don't have it. I don't have the video that you're looking for.
Oh well.
And I never performed it again until last night.
But the highlight of last night was definitely a little pranky we pulled on our good friend Paul Mams Mamalito.
Machiavellian in its design.
And what's so great, this is a prank on many levels, because Paul chose to do Dirty Dancing because, of course, every woman loves Dirty Dancing.
Because of course.
And because, of course, it was just in the Super Bowl, so it's even more fresh in everyone's mind. So this is his song. He is going to get numbers from this song. He's going to have women throwing themselves at his feet for this song. And so Nick comes over to me and we converse, and I'd say it's a co-idea that we kind of branded this thing out. By the way,
when Nick explained the whole conceit to me, he gave you pretty much and the entirety of the credit for coming up with
dual effort. It was a dual effort.
Well, right before he signs up, I take my phone outside and you do the white guy move. You go outside and listen to the song, even though it's super loud inside.
Listen,
just to see if it's. Well, hold on. Just to see that it's in your range. You're singing along. So he's seeing me, and his eyes are getting wider and wider. Like, this is going to happen. He's going to be the girl. I'm going to have the cool, sexy guy part, and my dumb little friend, the comic relief, will dance like a little monkey.
Let's just say that Matt was the producer, and you were the talent. you were the one who brought it all to fruition.
So true. It's exactly. It was very clear in Paul's eyes. He was going to go up there.
He literally, I literally saw him giggle as he signed in the song. I saw him visibly giggle.
So excited to do this. He's going to be the Patrick Swayze man, and Nick's going to play his comic relief foil, the jester, the fool to his great white knight. And so Nick and I decide Nick's going to go up, and instead of singing
nice
the
song
female
you got there.
part,
Would be a shame if we ruined it.
Nick decides he's going to just sing the male part along with Paul, and no one's gonna sing the female. And we're like, and Nick's like, oh, this could work, and it could only work if Paul played it perfect reaction, which he did, which was initial thinking it was a mistake and going, oh no, you're no, this isn't the part where you sing, it's another part that you sing. And Nick goes,
and Nick doing this exact same thing.
and Nick going, oh yeah, you're right, I got this wrong. And then doing it, and then bickering on mic, on stage, and then Paul going, I was told I was coming up here to sing. And Nick's like, I don't know what you're saying. And then you're like, okay, I got it. At least
they waited until the musical break to do that part, which is pretty funny. Because I thought we
kept up the bit the whole song.
What was more astounding? What was more astounding, and what I can automatically understand Paul doing, just knowing Paul, was that he goes, it goes right into the song, and as soon as there's like 5 seconds of silence, he's just like, gotta do the girls part.
He was out of duty.
So Paul starts singing the girls part because he just can't stand up there in complete silence.
He's singing the girl part in disgust that he can't hit the girl's line or notes.
It was
good times.
At one point when you were just like, oh, good job, you just hit the note.
And one of my verses I even announced, and now for the man part, and then I went into the verse.
Oh my god, it was a note perfect, easily the best karaoke performance that will ever exist at Brass Tap. But it was wonderful. But I think I kind of want to get into this podcast topic tonight, because I think we're going to need a little bit more time than normal. But Nick had a really, really good idea for our topic this evening, which is essentially fictional character dinner party. So, Nick, why don't you tell us a little bit about the idea?
Well, I'm really glad to have John Arthur here for this one, because I think I'd be really interested to see where you guys are going to go with this. You're doing a dinner party. You're having 5 fictional pop culture characters, probably from TV or film, but I didn't rule anything out necessarily, over to your house for a dinner party. Who's coming? Who are your guests?
And
who are your guests? I should say.
Yes.
And why? There's many ways you can go. Like I seriously contemplated just doing Harry Potter and Voldemort, just sit them across from the table, and just see what would happen.
What did you do?
That's kind of the concept I went
Wouldn't
with
it be like
selecting mine.
Do you think it would be meat?
Yeah, I mean, because that's the thing is you can go a couple of different ways. Like, are you having a good time here?
Right.
Yes,
or are you just trying to create a fucking nuclear explosion in your dining room?
I
A once in a lifetime opportunity. Why not see some fireworks? Right?
I didn't limit myself to
Or
like,
you-
it has to be a good time. Like I thought like it could be a disaster. Just
So
you can interpret any way you want.
Just to preface everything, because I didn't go on full on disaster, but I specifically picked characters that I know are not going to get along,
Exactly.
but they're all likable characters. So, like, I don't hate any of the characters that I picked, but there would be fireworks, but they would be like. There's not going to be somebody like pulling a rocket launcher out and just being like, "Come get some" or whatever, and then like blowing each other
What
up.
kind of parties do you normally host?
He's betting that you picked Deadpool in your party.
It's not like my normal Tuesday nights where someone runs into the house and says, "Come get some."
Apparently, Duke Nukem is at all of my dinner parties.
I hope you didn't go the route where like my 5 guests are the 2 broke girls,
No. I was very
Black
careful with
Widow.
that. I thought about doing that as a
Topanga.
joke one and being like, "No, we're not having any food. We're just having a pillow fight, and it's going to be wonderful."
Next week's podcast. Who are the 5 people you'd like to invite to a pillow fight at your house?
You don't invite people to a pillow fight. It just happens, Ben.
Okay, first of all, it's going to be Paul Rudd and Ryan Reynolds to even it out, and then it's going to be some really cute girls. So, now, do you think, Nick, if you did a dinner party with Voldemort and let's say the 3 kids, that you would serve like overly aromatic foods just to piss Voldemort off because he has no nose?
I think you can have fun with it.
Yeah, I think you have a good time with that one. So who wants to lead off their dinner party?
Can I say something?
Good Lord.
With a flourish.
Oh my!
Benny, can you get that,
Looks
please?
like someone's
say
at the
something
door
really
for
I'm still
Benny.
making the guacamole. I have avocado on my hands.
Because
Ben,
obviously, you want to pick people from different.
Ben,
properties.
someone's at the door. I can't get
I'm
it.
not
My hands
getting
are
into my
wet.
people. I'm not getting into my people yet. I just want to make a point.
Okay.
That there were lots of properties out there where it's just like, oh, I would love to, and this is hypothetical because I would never want to eat dinner with the, cast of Friends or like with that.
Why not?
Because
Well, not if
I think
Rachel
that
made
show's
made the meal as she famously did that one episode.
Tastes like feet.
But because one of the first things that popped in my head was I was just like, who would be really fun, because there is a dinner scene in the movie and it's really funny. It's one of my favorite parts because it's the great character
Beetlejuice.
building. No, it's the dinner scene in Sneakers. I love all of those characters in Sneakers. You had Sidney Poitier, Robert Redford.
Are you asking us to guess who's coming to your dinner party?
Dan Aykroyd, David Strathairn. all playing really, really unique characters, and I thought that was like, I was just like, that would be awesome. Like that's a fun dinner party right there.
Well, I mean, I think this is.
I do wish we could chat longer, but I'm having an old friend for dinner.
Yeah, I mean, look, if I'm going to recreate a dinner party, it's definitely the scene from Hannibal where he makes
Ray Liotta?
Liotta
his own
which,
brain.
by the way, this is the greatest
terrifying.
line delivery that Ray Liotta has ever had is right here.
That smells great.
That is literally, his brains are being cooked next to him. He goes, that smells great.
I think his
Amazing.
best delivered
So
lines in
good.
Heartbreakers, but that's where we're.
Well,
different, I guess.
there's another good one. We'll have a Ray Liotta off on our next podcast.
But did anybody else go there like
Ray Liotta
immediately when it was presented? I was thinking, and I was just like, well, there are all these casts or like specific movies, like a fish.
You
Called
wanna do,
Wanda.
like, a theme.
or I was just like, oh
You
man,
can do that.
There are so many different movies where I love the cast or shows. Or even in some cases novels where I love the characters so much, I would love to have a dinner party with them.
I seriously considered, for real,
Big Lebowski.
well, coming in with Michelangelo, Raphael, Leonardo Donatello, and April O'Neil, and we'd have a fucking pizza party. I mean, that's hard to argue against. I ended up putting a little more thought into it, but maybe in my heart of hearts, it would be the Ninja Turtles and April
so there
O'Neil.
you go. That's
Just because you're the only one that can have sex with her legally because of bestiality laws in that universe, but great.
So immediately,
good job, Nick.
I went there.
You don't know me.
You know that was a thought on your head.
May it pass through my mind.
And I get to play Casey Jones. It's my dream come true.
That's not Ilias Koteas' Casey Jones. That's who I would
cartoon
invite.
Anyways, I didn't go there, obviously, but I was interested. I was just wondering if anybody else thought the same way.
Did
It
anyone
sounds
pick
like-
characters
yes.
all from the same property?
No,
I didn't.
I
I
didn't do
really
that at
almost
all.
went Ninja Turtles. I really did, but no.
I thought about it. Yeah, I mean, you could go Potter, you could go Star Wars universe, you could go Game of Thrones has got a lot of good dinner parties there. What I'm also curious about, so I, before we get into this, because I keep this in mind, I guess, when you're pitching your group. So, like, most of mine were all picked in the same time frame, which was not on purpose. I originally was going to have from different time frames and stuff, but if you guys have people that are from different points in time, are you going to address that in your dinner party? That this one character only exists in, let's say, the 60s, and they're now at a dinner party with characters that are from 2010.
I literally just realized that all of my characters exist in properties made between 1984 and 1993.
Oh my god, that's a first for you. Nothing from the 50s? You don't have a single character from a black and white film?
I just looked at him, I was just like, wow.
I expected that Ben's dinner was
when did Alien come out?
No, I thought Ben's dinner was going to look like Pleasantville, where half of the people were in black and white and the other half were in color and they didn't understand what was going on.
And do you bring that up at your dinner party as host?
Yeah, you make black and white food for the people from black and white times. You make color food.
My dinner party is strangely age appropriate this time.
Oh my gosh!
Wow, what?
Well, would you like to kick us off, sir?
Oh, sure, I'll kick us off. That's
okay,
fine.
well, I'm gonna. So
Hold on to your butts.
I think your guest might be arriving.
Who's at the door, Penny?
Well,
Cut to the chase.
So I just wanted to mix it up a little bit, and there are also some tertiary characters in here. They're not main characters of movies, but they're people that I like to populate because I thought they seemed interesting. So my first is Buck Russell, Uncle Buck. John Hughes.
Nice.
Oh,
so I really like that.
Once again, I'm trying to create an atmosphere of people who I like.
Okay.
I'm going to like every single one of these characters, but they're going to have very, very kind of not contrary views, but they all have strong personalities and they may not get along.
Okay.
Yeah.
My second is Randall Graves. Clerks.
Oh,
I thought about that.
I did. I
thought about that.
I love Randall.
Randall over Banky, huh?
Yes, I love.
Interesting.
I always Randall's just a little. He's a little bit more abrasive. And he's
I meant Brody. Actually, I meant Brody. Yeah.
So if you were going,
Brody would be a dick.
Brody.
So is Randall.
No, Randall's a dick, but I think for this dinner party thing, Randall's more of my type of dick. From the Brody
he's a film dick versus Brody is a comic dick.
Right. Exactly.
It's you and Nick. You're a Randall and you're a Brody.
So
wow, we just had a breakthrough in our therapy sessions we do every week on the podcast.
Ouch.
So my next was actually a kind of like a weird middle school crush that I had, which is Corey Flood from Say Anything. Corey Flood is that was me when I saw her.
Yeah, I was kind of excited about that choice.
That's Lily Taylor in Say Anything, who's
outside the 7-Eleven talking with
who's best friends with Lloyd.
Yeah.
Who is kind of
and who marries Nate?
And she's a songwriter. She's of Joe Lies fame. You know, Joe Lies when he cries or whatever.
And you pick somebody musical.
And is this is a big music aficionado? Is a real strong-hearted person and like really kind of just a nice person, but also super opinionated.
Okay.
So then I went to my kind of weird wild card, which is Allison Reynolds, who is Breakfast Club. Our resident goth, basically.
Oh, you went with the basket case?
Oh, yes, I went with the basket case.
She walks in, come and get some.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, gotta do some Ali Sheedy from the Breakfast Club.
She doesn't talk.
But she does.
Ben would get her to talk.
At the end.
Ben Effortless Wilson.
No, she composed me 7 sonnets and performed them live. Why, she didn't speak to you?
Also, the thing about that character is, in the same sort of way that I believe this is intentional because I have 2 John Hughes characters, is because of
Say Anything. Uncle Buck. Uncle Buck. That's right.
So, I think that Allison Reynolds, the Ali Sheedy character, actually does have a lot to say, but she's playing a character. You know what I'm saying? Basically,
her character is playing the role of what she. Yeah.
So that character, I think, has a lot more and can do. Obviously, you see the whole transformation of all the bullshit at the end of Breakfast Club.
And we know she's great with food. So,
but anyways, I like somebody who's there just to be weird, to weird everybody else out. And my last
That's honestly a really good criteria.
How many people do you have?
5.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. This is going to be the 5th.
3.
So I've got Buck Russell, Randall Graves, Corey Flood, Allison Reynolds, and my last is because I didn't want to necessarily do Jack from.
Oh wait, sorry, I forgot our.
From Big Trouble. There you go. Didn't necessarily want to do Han Solo, but I'm doing Jack Colton, who is Michael Douglas in Romancing the Stone and Jewel of the Nile. Who, a very acerbic, very, very practical asshole. Who, but
gonna fuck every woman at your party.
Maybe. And then Randall's gonna have to bitch about it.
He's gonna fuck Uncle Buck. He fucks anything.
Uncle
fuck anything that moves.
So that was. So I was like, this is a dinner party that I would have fun at, where everyone's gonna disagree, but nobody's gonna die, and it's gonna have a fun time.
No permanent damage.
No permanent damage. So that was where I landed.
Do you have any activities you would be interested in engaging with these 5?
I just thought it was funny because when Nick also said, "Well, what are you going to serve?" I was just like, "Oh, let's just like pizza, wings, and beer." I mean, like, what else are you going to do to get people?
Works for that group almost 100% across the board.
Exactly.
I'm making an artisanal artichoke dip.
Well, Ali Sheedy will shake her dandruff on like whatever like pizza slices you've got there.
Just maybe like a little side of cocaine. I don't know.
Snorting time.
Wow, Ben's party just got a lot more interesting because I kind of want to see Uncle Buck and Randall doing lines of coke and arguing about The Godfather.
His 6th character is Neo in a golden thong bikini with a cigarette case, a mirror lined with coke, and martinis. This will roam around the party whenever they need him.
That was I like your dinner party.
I do too.
John Arthur. Let's hear it.
Wow. Okay. I guess I found myself going really dark with mine.
Nice.
That's good. We want different.
Stalin.
I know. I guess I kind of approached it as like a scientist, and I just wanted to experiment. I just like picked ones I thought. I know if I put you in a room with this one.
Let's see what happens when we take away the toys.
And I mean, I went as far as like, because you're saying either like a host or someone would cook, or you could cater. Like, I don't know why I started thinking of all of these things, and well, you'll see how I solved that with one of my characters.
All right.
So.
Go ahead.
Oh, I thought you were going to do the doorbell thing.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
He can't answer the door if no one rings the doorbell.
I'm sorry. The bell.
He did it like every time Ben was trying to talk.
They're not here yet. We're not gonna.
He's that guy waiting outside the front door for the pizza to arrive. He's just like, it's gonna get here soon.
What are you doing here?
We came here to eat dinner and to party. This is a dinner party.
All right, so there we go. So we got a doorbell.
All right. My caterer, and yes, Dr. Lecter.
Yeah.
Dr. Lecter is the caterer. I like it. I definitely like it.
We have the role.
And his role in this is part of the game, I guess.
Oh my god.
The game is afoot.
So
I just checked in a beer while you were on the podcast.
I was taking a picture of it.
Because I just as soon as he came up with it, as soon as he told me about it, which by the way I thought it was only television characters, I think at first, and then when he picked me up, it was like, oh no, Nick had added like 5 more categories, like, you know. Well, no, it's just like your
first character was a movie character, so
yeah,
that's
and
good.
I was like, okay, well, so anyway,
Give you more options. You're welcome.
Well, but the Dr. Lecter, I was thinking of the Mads Mikkelsen.
Oh,
Lecter.
You're going TV
that's why I was saying I thought TV.
He cooks some good-looking human flesh in that show, I gotta say.
And that scene where it's Eddie Izzard.
Eddie Izzard. Oh, yes. yeah.
And feeds him his thigh.
If anyone out there has not actually watched Hannibal, it's 3 seasons of the most gorgeous the most gorgeously shot television show I think that's ever existed, and it's like watching a painting every episode. It's phenomenal.
Even the crime scenes, it's
works
of art.
And they brought in a set director and a caterer to do all of the cooking of the human flesh stuff, and you're watching it and you're like, fuck, I'm hungry. Like that looks really good. That's someone's leg, but it looks really good.
But that's exactly what I thought of when it came to food.
All
right. So should I go into the next one?
Well, they're not here yet, John. I think I hear someone now.
You think so?
So I don't know if you guys ever watched Justified.
Well,
Yes, I watched Justify.
No one knows Justify.
Boyd Crowder or Raylan? You went Boyd Crowder. Is a
Boyd Crowder.
great choice.
Oh man, and like the second season of that show, where
Boyd Crowder's a good choice.
It's a really good choice.
Damn
and I didn't
it.
even watch the whole show.
And wait to it's connected to my next guess.
Boyd is Walton
Goggins.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
And Boyd's great because there's a lot of characters that are villains or that are evil that you love to watch, but you're like, I don't want to have a dinner party except Boyd.
Boyd
I would
actually-
want to hang
yeah.
out with Boyd.
And even though he's racist as fuck, doing this first couple of seasons, but it's just the second season was phenomenal because when they brought in the whole religious aspect, and he was pretty much starting his own
his
cult,
his own religion.
And I don't know, I always thought he was fantastic. So I thought I want to just sit and have dinner with him. Yeah.
Nice.
So it leads into Issa Rae from Insecure.
I have not seen Insecure yet.
I've not seen it.
You've recommended to me several times, and I'm deficient in watching that. We need to binge some of that this weekend.
Oh yeah, and I like her and Boyd Crowder.
I watched the pilot; it was really good, but I gotta
fantastic.
Yeah.
So and as one of the activities, I wanted to do her mirror rap battle
with Boyd.
Everyone has to.
That's a really good matchup between the two of them. I like that.
And then I guess we'll lead to Catherine Trammell, Basic Instinct.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
you have a murderous row
I told
of
you,
folks.
Because at first, I wanted to enjoy it.
Catherine Trammell. You wait, but she kills people after the sex.
Yeah.
And then Lecter will cook them.
So this is your last supper apparently that you're putting out there, right?
Speaking of praying mantis,
John just looked at me and went, "Yeah," like I'm the idiot.
That's why I realized because I thought, wow, it's not like this fun party where we're gonna discuss things. It's like I'm turning this into this mind fuck.
You want a race riot, right. A man that eats people, and a woman who kills the men she has sex with, but is super hot.
Well, everyone's going to eat people if they eat the dinner.
Okay, so that's the game.
So she also has a nice beaver.
It's preferably stuffed.
But that's what brings about the game, which is Lecter's catering. Each one gets a dish, and it's either a friend or a lover or an enemy. And you just you try to figure it out. I went really.
I've definitely eaten that ass before.
Help me.
So I told you.
It was so awful. It took a second to sink in, but that is the grossest thing you've ever said. You sick son of a bitch. I hope Nick Santacroce is taping this because we'll never have to see it. Wow. So all right. So to make sure I understand this, Hannibal Lecter is going to serve each guest a prepared dish that is either a friend of that person,
a
friend, a lover of that person, or an enemy.
Yeah. And then what is the game that they have to guess what it is?
Yeah.
If you get it right, then you get,
or else he
some of your
eats their
enemies.
liver with
What happens when you lose this game? Does Catherine Trammell fuck you and kill you? All right, well, you have to go to the Trammell room.
That's what I want to see happen.
All right.
It's one of those things of I don't know, I've become fascinated with psychopaths and shit.
It's a game in the way that
it's a game where I just want to see what happens.
Catherine Trammell's probably.
Do you want to play a game?
Jigsaw's in charge of the game. That's his sixth character.
Catherine Trammell has probably already eaten everybody that she would have be fed anyway.
Well, what's interesting is John Arthur actually told me about this, and I have what happens at the end of the party is this.
And after it's all over, you say, "Oh, what a lovely tea party."
Yeah, and that's how it all ends. Just someone's, what a lovely tea party.
Where are you going to host this? A Chuck E. Cheese? Or... and then Lecter gets in the ballroom.
Oh, man,
I jumped into the ballroom, Clarice.
I have so many questions, and I'm afraid to ask every single one of them, so
Yeah.
Wow.
I know. There was a moment I was like, wait, this is... I don't know what I'm turning this into. But, like, I still really want to see it.
You got it done yourself.
Right.
Well, I'm gonna let Nick close it off. So I'm gonna go next, and you get to do to bring it all home with your dinner party. But I picked 5 people.
I thought you were about to say De Niro party. It's just 5 different Robert De Niro characters.
God damn it! I knew I should have gone now.
And Ben Wilson playing the Awakenings De Niro. Just
It's all De Niro's. It's all De Niro's.
Could be. So I didn't mean...
Or you could go a step below before that, which is flawless De Niro, which is just like...
Nero dinner party. That is a good sketch
It's just De Niro party.
I've got nipples, Greg. You milk me.
Yeah, at the end is the Fokker De Niro.
Can you imagine how much shit current De Niro characters would get from old De Niro character, like a classic De Niro?
They wouldn't even say anything. They just stare at them disapprovingly.
Everyone right in the room is doing the De Niro impersonation, and poorly as one another does.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
So, for my 5, I didn't really mean to have them all come from somewhat the same time range, but they wound up, and one of them I was interchangeable because I didn't know which way you were going. I was sure you were going to have one of these 2 characters, but I
bet I know one.
I thought you might have Randall from.
I was real close to doing.
I'm calling
Kevin
Penny
Smith.
Lane.
No. I'm not into the music manic pixie dream. I picked one woman and it's very strange. But I picked Fox Mulder. And by the way, it was between Ray Stantz and Fox Mulder until game time decision of which of those 2. But because I wanted someone that's going to talk occult and conspiracy and stories that's super smart but a little bit of a dreamer.
Ray Stantz can't do that.
I think I like your pick over Ray just because Ray is just so kind of sweet.
He's a little too much. Fox has got a little edge. We're going to drink. We're going to throw down too.
Yeah, exactly.
Listen, I'm going to tell you, this is a shank party. We are all getting hammered at this dinner. So I made sure everyone there could.
You know,
DeCovey
is a sex addict, right?
Yeah, that's why I picked him. First of all,
He's in recovery.
I can say actually,
Fox Mulder is not. Well,
he is. He's at porn. So there's a supercut of all the times that Fox talks about porn. Fox Mulder loves porn.
Yeah.
Like he loves it. Like Nick Santa Croce loves porn. It's like it's hardcore. My second choice is a really random one.
Ding dong.
Sorry.
Ben.
It's hard. I've got my notes on here and I can't do it at the same time.
He's on it.
I have to literally do that and then bring my notes back up. So
I won't do it to you again. It's fine. We understand. We got the gist now.
I'll try.
We got the gist now.
It is funny every time, though. I picked. So let's see if you know what movie this is from. The character's name is Peter Bretter. Anybody? Peter, you suck. Peter, you suck. Your songs are fucking terrible. It's from Forgetting Sarah Marshall. It is Jason Segel's character. And I go, because he and I are going to sit and talk puppets and musicals and have a fucking great... I wanted people that could talk to all the different sides of shit I'm interested in and everyone else can get along. Because Peter Bretter's going to talk to Fox Mulder. That's absolutely going to happen. So then I also picked from The Good Place.
Wait, hold on a second.
Oh boy,
I'm a little hurt that you talk about this like he's a void in your life that you've no one to talk to puppets about. I'm right here.
We talk about puppets all the time.
Exactly. Am I not good enough? You got to get Jason Segel's character and Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
I shit you not. In my notes, half of the people in this were identified as surrogates for my current friend groups while we hung out. Ben has got a little bit of the Fox in him that he knows more than I do, so I'm interested in a lot of those things. You were definitely the Peter Bretter, which was that we sit and talk about fucking musicals and puppets and bullshit.
Okay.
All right.
Well, thank you.
I don't know that you're entirely represented, but you.
I was a little sensitive.
I could make you represent. You're gonna be real happy about it. But I picked Michael from The Good Place, Ted Danson's character, and it's real hard to talk about this one because there's a kind of a twist with the character. John Arthur knows now. Don't say it. But he is essentially a otherworldly being that has the ability to conjure whatever he wants, and he also is fascinated with human behavior. So I thought it'd be really interesting to have someone that could sit and learn from other humans and talk about things.
From someone who talks about puppets and someone who talks about aliens.
No, I mean, you think Fox Mulder's not going to have a couple fucking questions for a guy from the afterlife? Yeah, I think that's going to be a really interesting conversation. My female choice was Liz Lemon from 30 Rock.
That's not a bad. That's not a weird one.
It's not a weird.
Yeah,
it's that Liz Lemon is me. Liz Lemon is female Matt almost to a T. She's
I almost
neurotic.
went Leslie Nope.
I was real close to doing a Nope, actually. But I already had a Michael Schur character. I had to go with no. But Liz Lemon is she's smart. She's a writer. She's geeky, and she's awkward. So she's going to be just like me. I'm not going to feel like the only socially awkward person at the table. And then I had my X Factor one.
Slimer.
Oh no! I wanted a big get for the night, and I chose Prince T'Challa, the Black Panther himself, because I thought, hey, I want some royalty. I want literally the coolest motherfucker in the room to walk in there. Plus, as far as my menu goes, I had him bring some Wakandan delicacies that we have never tasted before on there, as well as like
Vibranium
a lot of
pie.
Yes, that's the next American Pie movie. when Disney buys the American Pie franchise, we have to do Wakandan Pie.
And when Jason Biggs fucks the pie, he takes on the mantle of the Black Panther.
It's just a ding ding sound.
Vibranium Pie sounds like a sex move.
It sounds like your new band name.
It sure does. I'm writing it down.
But yeah, so that is my group of people. I wanted there to be a little diversity,
idiosyncratic.
Yeah. And a lot of it was just like, look, my goal. So everyone had a different goal for the night. My goal was I want to have a bunch of people that are super fun. I had the idea that we go to this like fucking. I'd have Fox Mulder find us like an old speakeasy under DC that we'd go down to. We'd do some karaoke afterwards. We would eat, drink, and be merry, and have a great fucking time with one another.
Awesome.
So that's my dinner party. Nick, I do believe someone's
Well, I know with that high-pitched squeal, our first guest is, of course, Alf. The extraterrestrial. Now you laugh.
I have
but
all of these Alf quotes. I couldn't pull it up if I know.
I'm just saying, you laugh, but dinner party with Alf would be
You're just like, well, I'm boarding the cats for the weekend.
Well, we know what you're serving.
Plenty of cat jokes. Like he and you know that motherfucker can hang. So and my favorite part was always when in the show when he would actually get up and there was someone in the Alf suit.
It was a little person in the Alf suit.
So I would say, hey Alf, just take a lap real quick because you rarely got to see it on the show. They cut in between the puppet.
You're exploiting him.
I love
Do you
Alf.
think if Alf and Catherine Chamel were at a dinner party, he would try to eat her pussy?
Sorry. Saved by the bell. The next guest is the legendary space scoundrel Lando Calrissian.
Oh yeah, it was close.
In
That was a
full
close one.
space robe and full space garb. He's just fresh from an adventure. Hopefully he can give us a little insight on the eventual Childish Gambino Calrissian solo film.
I was thinking of Strikes Back Lando and not like
Billy
the
D.
solo. Okay.
Yeah,
you're doing Billy D, not Donald Glover.
I haven't seen.
You know Donald Glover. Lando listens to Redbone.
Can I make one comment on that? Because the thing
I almost picked Troy from Community to then also be there. But
if you're eliminating the extended universe, like in the actual movies,
no one knows the extended universe.
Lando,
it's not canon anymore.
He's just like a smooth motherfucker, but then he's just like, okay, he's kind of a dick. Okay, but whatever. It's like
but you don't know his full backstory yet, Ben.
But that's actually why I'm so interested in
Where
seeing.
does he get those wonderful capes?
Space Cape. Space Cape. Oh, that's a good band name. Space Cape.
But that's the thing is, I am more interested in seeing I'm way more interested in seeing Lando's backstory than Han's backstory.
That's what Matt and I were talking about.
We said last night, the movie I want to see is Lando. It's not Solo.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
No, exactly.
Right. Well, if you come to my dinner party, you're on the fast track because he's going to tell us all about
Awesome. Well,
that shit.
I'm just glad that you guys are thinking on the
I'm
same
gonna make some of those little wieners inside the little puff pastries, and he's gonna tell us about like his origin. It's gonna be great.
So like you said, someone's little wieners inside the puff pastry. It's like, whose little wieners are in there?
Speaking of which, I think there's someone at the door.
Oh,
Tyrion Lannister.
Oh, and that's why I did the
that's
short
so good.
crack kid instead of the long
Well,
crack kid.
of course, we need someone to bring the
That's a
wine
good call.
and know things. He's gonna get along, I think, super well with Lando. You got the medieval dragons, and you got the space. Think of the story. Get those two guys in the same room. Meanwhile, Alf's just going to be there, inserting a hilarious joke here and there, being amazing.
How long
complimenting everything?
How long before Tyrion does something really bad to Alf and gets annoyed by him? He's going to bitch slap the fuck out of him.
Or Alf's going to come in and then take off the head. And it's actually Tyrion inside the suit.
Oh man!
I think I hear the door.
I love it.
Oh my god!
Oh. Well, if it isn't Elaine Bennis from television Seinfeld.
She's another one I was real close.
She's from Baltimore. She's super funny. Her character's from Baltimore.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So we would bond over that.
Okay.
Yeah, because she would go to the Yankees games and actively root against them because we're in the same division.
Oh, wow.
The Orioles. Yeah, I have a still of Julia Louis-Dreyfus in the Oriole hat.
That's awesome.
In an episode, yeah. So we'd bond over that.
But she also met the Orioles in an episode of Veep.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because her whole thing was just like, everyone was just like, oh, this person's a pitcher and this person's a pitcher. And she's like, there aren't two pitchers on a baseball team.
Kevin Spacey wore an Orioles jacket in House of Cards, but let's skip over that.
He's
one.
not going to be at your dinner party, is he? Times at me too.
No.
Okay, all right.
And then for my very last role, no,
That's a big
guess.
one.
Good guess.
I was sure there was someone.
Man.
I sure Evangeline Lilly.
I should have said
Kate was
Evangeline
coming.
Lilly. I should have said Kate.
I sure she was coming.
But I don't like how she's been looking at Sawyer, so I decided to go with not Leslie Knope, but Andy Dwyer.
It's a good call. So any Michael Schur character is good.
The golden age of Chris Pratt.
Yes.
Now, while I like Star Lord, it's a very specific flavor. The dumb, lovable Andy, I think is going to sit. We're going to sit him next to Alf, and they're just going to like.
Do you think he's going to enter the party as Burt Macklin, and then?
Well, he might.
And then he might.
And see, that was my way of getting around the 5 character limit, because then I might get 6 if he goes into the character. But he's going to get along with Alf really well. But also, Andy is just kind of a pop culture fan, so he's going to sort of, in your way, he's going to geek out like Siegel's character.
He's going to play you, Rat. Oh, what's this band name? How do I not remember that? Rat. Something, rat poison, or rat
snake rat.
Snake rat. Snake,
Was it
no,
snake
no,
rat?
that's the cologne. His band is something.
Mouse rat.
Just realized how little that band name makes any sense. But his band Mouse Rat can play that while you guys are doing. Yeah.
Well, I think that you got 2 aliens.
Yeah.
You got Tyrion Lannister from Westeros.
Is Andy going to bring his wife?
Well, I mean, she doesn't get a +1. I almost went April Ludgate.
I would be down with that.
They're married, Ben.
Careful.
They're married.
Careful.
And so are you. But I think
not in this dinner party scenario. He's not.
Elaine Bennis is single, isn't she?
She's perpetual. Everyone on Seinfeld is perpetually single.
Yeah. And then honorable mentions was David S. Pumpkins, but that's my list.
Well, and what's good is... Oh, go ahead.
Good.
You got nothing?
I was going to say, I feel like David S. Pumpkins would get a little old after about 15 minutes.
Yeah, that's why he didn't get the full imitation.
Do you think Beth would get tired of David S. Pumpkins?
Yes.
I don't think so. Never.
Who would ever get tired of
Now,
David S. Pumpkins?
This is a first on the new way. We are running under for time, which pretty much never happens. But that's good, because I actually forgot to play you something earlier.
Well, I actually had a question, though, for Ben. And well, I was curious. Like,
the show's not about you, John Arthur. It's about us. So why don't you hold that for now? Go ahead.
Why did you choose all those characters?
Why were all of your characters
what
white,
beer would
Ben?
you have at your party?
Oh, you know, I would probably just get like a keg of like.
He'd run out of whatever it is.
I get a pony keg of Bell's Two Hearted. Yeah, it's just something that's accessible, but it's really good.
You
and
think a
everybody
pony
can drink.
keg's going to fuel an Uncle Buck and Ben Wilson appetite?
If there's only 6 of us there, then yeah, pony keg can do that.
I think you as always, sorely underestimate the drinking power of not only yourself but everyone else in the party.
It's probably true.
Actually, that's some good. Anybody have any other questions as far as everyone else's dinner parties? Any concerns, comments?
Well, I think the next assignment, John Arthur, is I want to see the waiver that you have to sign to go to your dinner party.
Well, and John Arthur,
it's like, welcome, sign here.
Well, and I'll get into something that's going to be kind of tie into a podcast that I think John Arthur and I are going to try to record on Sunday. But first, I do want to play. We have a brand new Slurred Sophisticate this week that I forgot to play for you earlier. It's a long one, but man, is it good. So, John Arthur, you'll hear what the Slurred Sophisticate is during the preamble here, so listen up.
Okay.
Welcome to another edition of the Slurred Sophisticate, where we slow down portions of a podcast you probably didn't listen to in order to make it funnier. So, without further ado, please enjoy the Slurred Sophisticate.
And that's played ad nauseum. But the thing that most annoyed me, Matt, is I sat down. Oh, Jesus. Oh, sorry. Oh, God. Oh, there it is. Disgusting. Just disgusting.
It's high flu season, guys.
Oh, God. You're gonna die. Oh, God. Oh, the snot hanging down. Oh, my worst nightmare. You know, when you're in class, look at his hands are glistening in snot. That is horrifying. Oh my God. That is horrifying.
Oh my God, Ben. This has been another rousing edition of the Slurred Sophisticate. Join us next time for more shenanigans. That was Ben Wilson rocking out 4 sneezes in slow motion. I couldn't pull the clip because I kept laughing so hard that I laughed loud enough that it was picking up on dead mics. Because the first sneeze is so wet and awful in slow motion. It just goes, and you go, you're instantly
The timing of that.
It's so amazing to me. Oh man, alive! I normally would be pulling from not the week before's episode, but that one was just too golden.
That's pretty damn funny.
But yeah, that is from our last week's episode, the cold reading episode. If you guys want to catch up, now I talked to John Arthur, and I think we're going to on Sunday kind of do a similar version of what Ben and I did for the sexual harassment stuff and talk about minorities in cinema and on TV with John Arthur, who can offer a perspective that the 3 pasty white guys that run this podcast normally can't necessarily really grasp. So and that's on. So those of you that don't know, we met John Arthur during a writing competition, a pilot writing competition when we were pitching Dream Writers. And John had a pilot called The Belt, which is a phenomenal pilot. I don't know if you have that online anywhere or I can put it up on our site if you want to share it out there or not. I don't know, but it's phenomenal. And that's how really we had never met before going to LA. And the day we solved racism was the first time I actually met John Arthur in the flesh. So I kind of, it'd be nice to have a writer to kind of sit and talk about what black cinema is like and what television is like for minority writers, and from a viewing standpoint. What do you kind of look at?
Yeah, I mean, I can't speak for all of it, obviously, but
no, you're the mouthpiece.
No, I like it's come a long ways. I mean, I like with The Belt, it was a risk. It was a risk doing that because like I hadn't seen anything like that, and then bringing like the kind of the religious aspect and everything of my upbringing, and I don't know. I worked on it, and I don't know, it was difficult to kind of bring together, and but yeah,
we'll get we'll get into it. Yeah, because I'm just going to be kind of curious of what were your influences from a writing standpoint or from a viewing standpoint. 'Cause we didn't have like a lot of similar views, but we'll dig in. I think we'll dig in
Kentucky
for like a full
Fried Movie.
UHF. Obvious. By the way, you know how close I was to picking George. Oh, I was going to pick George Newman from
Yeah.
He doesn't play
He was on my
Al.
list. Yeah, he was on my short list. Yeah,
but who do you guys have anyone that was on the cusp for your dinner parties, by the way, that you were like real close to picking?
I thought it would be funny to do Troy from Community, and then also invite what was LeVar Burton's character on
Reading Rainbow?
Star Trek?
Oh, Geordi.
Geordi.
Right. So
Geordi.
It is
Geordi. It's Geordi.
Geordi Nelson.
It's Geordi LaForge. It's
Geordi.
not Yordi. It's Geordi.
Yordi?
Okay.
He's Swedish.
I'm Yordi LaForge. This is Captain Picard.
Listen, but of course, Troy in Community is the only thing he gets starstruck from is LeVar Burton. So I would sit him right next to him and watch the fireworks.
My only group is I just really wanted to eat dinner with the cast of Alien.
Yeah, I figure. And then Ben would pop out of the guy's stomach when he was ready. I'm here.
Dinner served.
It's the cast from The Big Chill. You can help me toss the salad.
Do you have any ones that were on the cusp for you, John Arthur?
Man.
Wait, do they make the salad in The Big Chill, or is that something else?
Sorry. Jesus.
Remember that famous kitchen scene when they're making the salad and they're singing?
Is that The Big Chill?
Well, they're dancing in the kitchen.
Is Rob Lowe in that?
Dancing
No, Rob Lowe is not.
That's St. Elmo's Fire.
St. Elmo's Fire. Okay, sorry. Tangent.
Anyone on your end, John?
No, I kept to those four. I pretty much knew once
your
I
weird
cast,
sex murder party is cannibalistic enough.
once I chose Lecter, and Boyd. Those were the first two I saw in my mind, and instantly
such an insight into your psyche. We gotta
and Megatron.
We're gonna have to have.
How about you, Matt?
I mean, Ray was a big one. I was gonna cheat and do Shakespeare. As Joseph Fiennes played him in Shakespeare from Love.
And the reason why I came up with the sneakers thing I said at the very beginning of the podcast was because I really like David Strathairn's character in that, and I always want to say Whistler, but it's not Whistler.
Mother.
No.
Well, Whistler is David Strathairn's character.
Well, so yes, it was Whistler because I really love that character. Peace on Earth, Goodwill to Men. He's very smart and extremely very kind of high intelligence level, but he was just like, when they're like, oh yeah, he ran some problems with the phone company, and they're like 49 counts. You know, he's just like straight up criminal. So I love that guy. But that's the reason why
I fought for a long time about Kevin Smith. Peter Breder was the one that beat out Brody Bruce and Randall Graves from the Kevin Smith lines. I'm like, I want someone that's pop culture oriented, but I'm like, I thought they would get a little too. I thought we'd get into a fight in the first 5 minutes of it, and it would never end, and then it would be bad dinner parties.
Right, exactly.
Peter's easy to get along with because there you go. He's certain.
So no one else had Howard the Duck on their reject list.
So
I had to pick between Alf and Howard the Duck, basically.
Well, and I was going through it. I went over to like my Blu-ray shelf, and I went through like all my Blu-rays, and I was like, okay, because like what's funny is I didn't pick any character from like anything that's my favorite movie, because I'm like, I love The Princess Bride, but I don't want to have a dinner. I don't care to talk to Wesley and I thought about Hagrid, but I'm like, Hagrid's not like a great conversationalist.
He would just drink and pass out, and then you'd have an emotional moment with
I briefly thought Jessica Jones, because I love Jessica Jones, but that's good.
You just want Christopher. I'm sure Melanie Linsky was in one of your dinner parties too, but that was the dinner.
That was the key party.
The key party.
Different party.
Why do you guys do that to me?
Why is everybody always picking on me?
I'm picking some interesting women here.
Okay. That's fine.
Interesting, complex, layered women.
Well, this is fun. I think we should. I think this is one of the podcasts that I recommend we do a sequel to at some point down the road. And a new dinner party. And
lesson learned: if your episode's going compact, just make it a short episode.
we will.
Don't stretch it out.
No, we'll just. Yeah, that was a mistake. But I think next time we'll just go with John Arthur rules, which is that I want you to make an event.
Make a murder
scene. Make a murder sex party and decide who you want to invite to your murder sex party. No one's making it out alive. That's the catch. So
you might as well go big.
I guess Hannibal's the only one probably making it through your... Oh, no, I bet Trammell murder fucks him by the end of the night.
See, that's the mind game I want to watch. Like
murder fucks him.
Yeah. Well, did you guys ever? Well, no. I don't want to give away things.
Oh, so that is a thing. Murder fucking is a thing. Got it.
And then after she murder fucks him, she says,
"When you just said murder fucks him, I was just like, there's not a character named Murder." Sorry,
that's fine. That's fine. All right, kids.
Fuck it, we'll do it live.
It is time to call to an end this meeting of the Midnight Society and our murder sex parties. We thank you so much for listening.
Are you afraid of the dark? No, sorry. Midnight Society.
Don't look at me and make the quiet sound with your lips. It's terrifying. We thank you so much for listening. We will be back hopefully in a week or two with a new episode, depending on what we get accomplished. And thank you so much. We'll talk to you next time. Cheers.
Cheers.
Same New Way place, same New Way time.
Well done, Nick.